Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraят. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschatya Deshatharine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9, verse 50. Payastanabhyam susrava netrajai salilai shivaihi tadabhishichyamanaabhyam veera veera suvomuhu. My dear Vidura, Suniti was the mother of a great hero. Her tears, together with the milk flowing from her breasts, wet the whole body of Dhruva Maharaj. This was a great auspicious sign. When deities are installed, they are washed with milk, yogurt, and water, and this ceremony is called Abhisheka. In this verse, it has been especially mentioned that the tears which flowed down from the eyes of Suniti were all auspicious. This auspiciousness of the Abhisheka ceremony performed by his beloved mother was an indication that in the very near future, Dhruva would be installed on the throne of his father. History of Dhruva Maharaj leaving home was that his father refused to give him place on his lap, and Dhruva determined that unless he got the throne of his father, he would not come back. Now, this Abhisheka ceremony performed by his beloved mother was an indication that he would occupy the throne of Maharaja Uttanapada. It is also significant in this verse that Suniti, mother of Dhruva, is described as Veera Su, mother who produced a great hero. There are many heroes in the world, but there is no comparison to Dhruva, who was not only a heroic emperor of this planet, but also a great devotee. A devotee is also a great hero because he conquers the influence of Maya. Lord Chaitanya inquired from Ramananda Rai about the most famous person in this world. Ramananda Rai replied that anyone who is known as a great devotee of the Lord is to be accepted as the most famous. Of course, not that great devotees want to become famous, but great devotee means he is the most famous. There is no other qualification for becoming most famous. And devotee is also a great hero because he conquers the influence of Maya. So yeah, we should aspire to reach this stage. So the way how do we go about this? How do we go about this conquering the influence of Maya? Anybody wants to suggest any practical approach? Yeah. Any thoughts? How do we step by step go conquer Maya, conquer the influence of Maya, step by step, because it won't happen overnight.
Through understanding the daily activities and understanding that how much we are doing for devotional service and how much we are doing for basically sense gratification and
Yeah.
reducing those anarthas.
Yeah.
Then
Mm.
association of devotees and taking up some services to assist the devotees and then
Okay.
following the instructions of Guru.
Okay. Okay. Generic. Yeah. First one was specific. Others are more generic.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
Any other thoughts?
Shravanam Kirtanam Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Shravanam Kirtanam. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so when I ask these questions, the normal
Prabhu
sadhana of
Prakash.
devotional service. Yeah. 1 second, Asarna Prabhu. When I ask such questions, the normal sadhana of devotional service is already a given. Shravanam, Kirtanam, association with devotees. I mean, that we are all trying to do, follow the instructions of Guru. All this we are trying to do anyway, right, on a daily basis. But still, the influence of Maya continues. So, what is it that we can do? So one thought process Prabha Prabhu was suggesting um, was to actually think about daily activities. Okay. What else? Yeah, Rasana Prabhu.
Prabhu, try always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna.
Oh, that is the highest, Prabhu. If that can happen, then everything, nothing else is required. Then we don't even have to do any sadhana. That's the highest platform. Okay. Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
Desire for Krishna has to increase gradually.
Okay, okay. Okay, practical. Okay, practical day to day. Yeah. So what we
Yeah.
have to do is, yeah. Others want to try? Yeah,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
yeah,
Can I tell Prabhuji?
yeah.
Prabhuji being Grihasthas, we are also in touch with materialistic people. So sometimes we will be bewildered with their talks or anything, and we should try to see that we are not entangled,
Okay.
uh,
We are not influenced by them. Okay.
influenced by them. So always remember that this is not the thing that it might affect our sadhana also.
Okay.
So if we are influenced by them, Maya attack will become more and more.
Okay.
And stick to eating only prasadam. That will help
Okay.
us more. And that, as you said, the regulative principles, if we follow,
Yeah.
that's what
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
Shruti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, keeping our material life as simple as possible.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So see, basically what we have to understand is this requires some focus. This problem requires focus. So what we need to do is like Prabha Prabhu said, on a regular basis, daily basis, we have to make a list of all our anarthas. How are we being influenced today by Maya? What is the influence of Maya today in our life? Right? It could be, so for some it could be kama, for some it could be krodha, some lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, whatever it is. Right? We have to make a note saying that this is my current influence. This is how I'm being influenced by Maya today. Right? Whatever it is, your own personal situations, right? And then trying to see saying that okay, now if this is, and then of course sometimes it'll be a long shopping list of all anarthas influence of Maya on us. Then we might pick up one or two of them for immediate focus or the most critical or most easy to get over, whatever it is, right? However you think you want to approach your bhakti. We both have pros and cons. Some smaller influences, if you can get rid of them, then yeah, then the number of anarthas keep on reducing. Then yeah, we might come and we might end up now with our biggest anarthas, then which might require more time and focus, which is also okay. Or if somebody says, okay, smaller anarthas anyway, small, it'll anyway go. Okay, let me anyway start with focusing on big anarthas. That's also fine. Whatever, it's your comfort, right? But we have to know or identify it, and we have to start the process of conquering, which means we have to become very serious about that one or two anarthas that we are trying to win over, right? And yeah, for winning over, apart from our normal sadhana, we also have to observe situations which trigger that anartha. Is it possible to reduce the such situations at all? Or even if such situations cannot be avoided, then what actually is the trigger? Now, and then praying for Krishna for strength, chanting with more intent to overcome such, anarthas. And all these things can be done. But the whole point is talking to other devotees, etc. That should become a kind of goal, focus for us at that point of time, saying that okay, now this influence I want to overcome, and it might take us whatever, depending on the size of that anartha, depth of the anartha, it might take few days, few weeks, few months, etc. Right? And it has to be a regular daily process, right? Because hero will, if he's a big hero, big king, He's always making plans how to increase his kingdom, how to protect whatever he's got, etc. Right? He's not going to sit idle even for a single moment. So it's like that. We have to be like a great hero and constantly s- strive. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Find the right advice, and try to keep implement those things in our life so that we should see some progress in this conquest. Right? And eventually, yes, eventually by Krishna's mercy, by Guru and Krishna's mercy, we will become that great hero who have conquered Maya. We will, because the process is so powerful. It's not about our ability, it's the process which is so powerful. And if we simply, strictly, seriously follow the process, then we will actually become a great hero, right? So make a note of this. I've been telling this multiple times, but again, every time I get an opportunity, I will suggest, right? Make a list of your anarthas, major anarthas, right? You have to have a notebook for yourself, right? This is very, very important actually. Introspection, making notes, putting down your thoughts, however it is. I mean, notebook meaning it could be your mobile phone, it could be a diary, it could be online, whatever suits you, right? But make a note. It's a very serious business. Uh, Prabhupada used this word business. Bhakti is serious business, right? So we have to remain focused, alert, continuously striving, putting effort, then yeah, we will get there slowly, steadily. Mm. Is that okay? Any thoughts, any questions, any comments on that?
Yes, Dhruva, I just want to add one thing that Prabhupada, I think, explains this as Vyavasayitmika Buddhi, right? That you
Yeah.
treat that bhakti platform as a mission, and if you basically act like a businessman, then yeah, as you rightly said, that how much input we are putting in terms of devotee association, then Shravanam Kirtanam, and then what is the result? Basically, what is the ROI? So ROI is like your anarthas are getting reduced, you are getting more interest for devotional service. So I
Mm.
think this is what you are trying to say, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. तां शशंसुर्जनाराज्ञीं दृष्ट्या ते पुत्र आर्तिः प्रतिलब्धस्थिरं नष्टो रक्षिता मण्डलं भुवः. The residents of the palace praised the queen. Dear queen, your beloved son was lost a long time ago, and it is your great fortune that he has now come back. It appears, therefore, that your son will be able to protect you for a very long time and will put an end to all your material pangs. अभ्यर्चितस्त्वया नूनं भगवान् प्रणतार्तिः यदनुध्यायिनो धीरा मृत्युं जिघ्षु सुदुर्जयम्. Dear Queen, you must have worshipped the Supreme Person of Godhead who delivers his devotees from the greatest danger. Persons who constantly meditate upon him surpass the course of birth and death. This perfection is very difficult to achieve. Dhruva Maharaj was the last child of Queen Suniti, but during his absence, she always meditated upon the Supreme Person of Godhead, who is able to rescue his devotee from all dangers. We should have firm faith in this statement. Able. Prabhupada is using the word able. He's all powerful. He is able to rescue his devotee from all dangers. He knows how to rescue. He knows what's to be done. It doesn't require our consultation, our recommendation. And this is Sharanagati, Rakshishati Vishwaso, having the faith that Krishna will protect. While Dhruva was absent from his home, not only did he undergo severe austerities in the forest of Madhuvana, but at home also his mother prayed to the Supreme Lord for his safety and good fortune. In other words, the Lord was worshipped by both the mother and the son, and both were able to achieve the supreme benediction from the Supreme Lord. Of course, I mean, Suniti's prayer for safety and good fortune, mm, difficult to understand if she is looking at her son as a devotee and um, hoping that that he can be safe and he can continue his devotional service, then it's not material. But if it is on the material platform, yeah, but that Prabhupada is not commenting on that. The word Sudurjayam, an adjective which indicates that no one can conquer death, is very significant. When Dhruva was away from his home, his father thought he was dead. Ordinarily, a king's son, only 5 years old and away from home in the forest, would certainly be supposed dead. But by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, not only was he saved, but he was blessed with the highest perfection. Hmm. लाल्यमानं जनेरेवं ध्रुवं सभ्रातरं नृपः आरोप्य करिणीं हृष्टाः स्तूयमानो विशत्पुरम्. Said Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, when everyone was thus praising Dhruva, the king was very happy, and he had Dhruva and his brother seated on the back of a elephant. Thus he returned to his capital, where he was praised by all classes of men. तत्र तत्रोपसङ्क्लिप्तैर्लसन्मकरतोरणैः सवृन्दैः कदलीस्तम्भैः पूगपोतैश्च तद्विधैः. The whole city was decorated with columns of banana trees containing bunches of fruits and flowers, and betel nut trees with leaves and branches were seen here and there. There were also many gates set up which were structured to give the appearance of sharks. Auspicious ceremonies with decorations of the green leaves of palms, coconut trees, betel nut trees, and banana trees, and fruits, flowers, and leaves are an age-old custom in India. To receive his great son Dhruva, King Uttanapada arranged a good reception, and all the citizens were very enthusiastically took part with great jubilation. Of course, today, we're all trying to follow in Western style. We put balloon and this and that and some nonsense, right? But this is what it is. This is auspicious. That is, yeah, some mundane craziness. So we have to follow this. Vedic way of life is auspicious. So flowers, then coconut, banana tree branches, etc., etc. All this, mango leaves, betel nut trees. All these are considered auspicious. Fruits, flowers, leaves. So we have to always make this. If you are having any, function, any ceremony, we should use all this. We should get as Vedic as possible. Rutapallava muktadama vilambibihi upaskritam pratidvaram apam kumbai sadipakaihi. At each and every gate there were burning lamps and big water pots decorated with differently colored cloth, strings of pearls, rubber garlands, and hanging mango leaves. Yeah. प्राकारेर्गोपुरागारैः शातकुम्भपरिच्छदैः सर्वतोऽलङ्कृतं श्रीमद्विमानशिखरद्युभिः. In the capital city, there were many palaces, city gates, and surrounding walls, which were already very, very beautiful. And on this occasion, all of them were decorated with golden ornaments. Domes of the city palaces glittered, as did the domes of the beautiful airplanes which hovered over the city. Regarding the mention of airplanes here, it is suggested by Srimad Vijayadhwaja Tirtha that on this occasion the demigods from higher planetary systems also came in their planes to bestow their blessings on Dhruva on his arrival, the capital of his father. So we can understand that actually the demigods were not envious of Dhruva. It also appears that all the domes of the city palaces as well as the pinnacles of the airplanes were decorated with ornamental work in gold, and being reflected by the sunshine, they were all glittering. We can observe a specific distinction between Dhruva Maharaja's time and modern days. But the aeroplanes in those days were made of gold, whereas at present moment they're made of base aluminium. This just gives a hint of the opulence of Dhruva Maharaj's days and the poverty of modern times. Prabhupada gives various insights. मृष्टचत्वरचरत्यात्त मार्गं चन्दनचर्चितं लाजाक्षतै पुष्पफलैस्तण्डुलैर्बलिभिर्युतम्. All the quadrangles, lanes, and streets in the city and the raised sitting places at the crossings were thoroughly cleansed and sprinkled with sandalwood water, and auspicious grains such as rice and barley and flowers, fruits, and many other auspicious presentations were scattered all over the city. ध्रुवाय पथिदृष्टाय तत्र तत्र पुरस्त्रियः सिद्धार्थाक्षतदध्यम्बु दूर्वा पुष्पफलानि च उपजह्रु प्रयुञ्जाना वात्सल्यादाशिष सतीः शृण्वंस्तद्वल्गुगीतानि प्राविशद्भवनं पितुः. Thus as Dhruva passed on the road from every place in the neighborhood, all the gentle household ladies assembled to see him, and out of material affection they offered their blessings, showering him with white mustard seed, barley, curd, water, newly grown grass, fruits, and flowers. In this way, Dhruva, while hearing the pleasing song sung by the ladies, entered the palace of his father. Mahamani Bratamaye Satasmin Bhavanottame Lalito nitaram pitra nyavasaddivi devavat. Dhruva Maharaj thereafter lived in his father's palace, which had walls bedecked with highly valuable jewels. His affectionate father took particular care of him, and he dwelled in that house just as the demigods live in their palaces in the higher planetary systems. You know, Dhruva lived in his father's palace, not in his mother's palace. And previously, he was not even allowed to sit on the lap of his father. Now he was living in his father's palace. Payafena nibhashaya dantarukma parichadaha asanani maharhani yatra raukma upaskaraha. The bedding in the palace was as white as the foam of milk and was very soft. The bedsteads were made of ivory with embellishments of gold, and the chairs, benches, and other sitting places and furniture were made of gold. Okay, if somebody is wanting to make their house opulent, yeah, you can follow these instructions. You can have furniture made of gold. You can have bedsteads made of ivory with embellishments of gold, as white as foam of milk. Yeah, opulence. Yatra spatika kudyeshu mahamarakateshu cha manipradeepa abhanti lalanaratna samyutaha. Whereas the king was surrounded by walls made of marble with many engravings made of valuable jewels like sapphires, which depicted beautiful women with shining jewel lamps in their hands. The description of Uttanapada's palace depicts the state of affairs many hundreds and thousands of years ago, long before Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled. Since it is described that Maharaja Dhruva ruled for 36,000 years, he must have lived in the Satyuga when people lived for 100,000 years. The life durations in the four yugas are also mentioned in the Vedic literature. Satyuga people used to live for 100,000 years, Treta lived for 10,000, Dwapara lived for 1,000, and in this age, Kali Yuga people may live up to 100 years. With the progressive advance of each new yuga, the duration of human life is reduced by 90%. See, analysis by Prabhupada. From 100,000 to 10,000, from 10,000 to 1,000, from 1,000 to 100. It is said that Dhruva was the great grandson of Lord Brahma. This indicates that Dhruva Maharaja's time was in Satyuga, in the beginning of creation. During one day of Lord Brahma, stated in Bhagavad Gita, there are many Satyugas. According to Vedic calculation, the present moment, the 28th millennium is current. It can be calculated that Dhruva lived many millions of years ago. But the description of the palace of Dhruva's father is so glorious that we cannot accept the advanced human civilization. We cannot accept that advanced human civilization did not exist even 40 or 50,000 years ago. No, it was all advanced. That's what Prabhupada is saying. There were walls like those in the palace of Maharaj Uttamapada even very recently during the Mughal period. Anyone who has seen the Red Fort in Delhi must have marked that the walls are made of marble and were once decorated with jewels. During the British period, all these jewels were taken away and dispatched to the British Museum. The conception of worldly opulence was formerly based mainly on natural resources such as jewels, marble, silk, ivory, gold, and silver. The advancement of economic development was not based on big motor cars. Advancement of human civilization depends not on industrial enterprises, but on possession of natural wealth and natural food, which is all supplied by the Supreme Lord, so that we may save time for self-realization and success in the human form of body. Another aspect of this verse is that Dhrumara's father Uttanapada would very soon give up attachment for his palaces and go to the forest for self-realization, Vanaprastha. From the description of Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, we can make a very thorough comparative study of modern civilization and the civilization of mankind in the other millenniums, Satya, Treta, and Dwapara Yugas. उद्यानानि च रम्याणि विचित्रैर्नमरद्रुमैः कूजद्विहङ्गमिथुनैर्गायन्मत्तमधुव्रतैः. The king's residence was surrounded by gardens wherein there were varieties of trees brought from the heavenly planets. In those trees there were pairs of sweetly singing birds and almost mad bumblebees, which made a very relishable buzzing sound. In this verse, the word Amara Drumaihi, with trees brought from the heavenly planets, is very significant. The heavenly planets are known as Amara Loka, planets where death is very much delayed, because the people there live for 10,000 years according to the calculations of demigods, in which our 6 months are equal to 1 day. So people in Swarga, they live for 10,000 years. Okay, the first time I'm hearing this. The demigods live in the heavenly planets for months, years, and 10,000s of years. Okay, now thousands of years. According to demigod time, and then again, after the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they fall down to this earth. Okay, so Prabhupada, one place is saying they live for 10,000 years, which is exact. Now he's saying 10,000s of years, so which means it could be more also. Okay. These are the statements that can be collected from Vedic literature, as the people there live for 10,000 years, again, 10,000 years, so also do the trees. Of course, here on this earth, there are many trees which live for 10,000 years, so what to speak of the trees on the heavenly planets? They must live for more than many 10,000s of years, and sometimes, as practiced even now, some valuable trees are taken from one place to another. It is elsewhere stated that when Lord Krishna went to the heavenly planets with his wife Satyabhama, he took a parijat, a flower tree from heaven, and brought it to earth. There was fight between Krishna and the demigods due to this parijata trees being taken from earth, heaven to this planet. The parijata was planted in the palace of Lord Krishna, which was occupied by Queen Satyabhama. The flower and fruit trees in the heavenly planets are superior, for they are very pleasant and tasteful. And it appears that in the palace of Maharaja Uttanapada, there are many varieties of such trees. Okay, good to know. Apyo Vaidurya Sopana Padmotpalakumudvatihi Hamsakarandavakuler Justas Chakrahva Sarasaihi. There were emerald staircases which led to lakes full of variously colored lotus flowers and lilies and swans, parandavas, chakravakas, cranes, and similar other valuable birds were visible in those lakes. It appears that not only was the palace surrounded by compounds and gardens with varieties of trees, but there were small man-made lakes also, where the water was full of many colored lotus flowers and lilies. And to get down to the lakes, there were staircases made of valuable jewels such as emeralds. By the beautifully positioned garden houses, there were many luxuriant birds such as swans, chakravakas, karandavas, and cranes. These birds generally do not live in filthy places like crows do. The atmosphere of the city was very healthy and beautiful. It can simply be imagined from its description. Uttanapadarajarshi prabhavam tanayasyatam krutva drishtva prapede vismayam param. Saintly King Uttanapada, hearing of the glorious deeds of Dhruva and personally seeing also how influential and great he was, felt very satisfied, for Dhruva's activities were wonderful to the supreme degree. When Dhruva was in the forest executing his austerities, his father Uttanapada heard everything about his very wonderful activities. Although Dhruva was the son of a king and was only 5 years old, he went to the forest and executed devotional service under strict austerity. Therefore, his acts were all wonderful, and when he came back home naturally, because of his spiritual qualifications, he became very popular among the citizens. He must have performed many wonderful activities by the grace of the Lord. No one is more satisfied than the father of a person who is credited with glorious activities. Maharaja Uttanapada was not an ordinary king, he was a Rajarshi, a saintly king. Formerly, this earth was ruled by one saintly king only. Kings were trained to become saintly, therefore, they had no other concern than the welfare of the citizens. These saintly kings were properly trained, and as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, also signs of God or the yoga system of devotional service, known as Bhagavad Gita, was spoken to the saintly king of the sun planet and gradually descended through the Kshatriya kings who were generated from the sun and the moon. Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha. If the head of the government is saintly, certainly the citizens become saintly, and they are very happy because both their spiritual and physical needs and hankerings are satisfied. Yeah, government means citizens are happy, both spiritually and materially. Yeah, and the qualifications of Dhruva. Because of spiritual qualifications, he became very popular among citizens. In Bhagavad Gita also this verse is there, saying that one who is a devotee of Krishna, he becomes dear to everybody and everybody also becomes dear to him. This is a sign that somebody has made spiritual progress. That nobody has any ill feeling towards a devotee means that devotee has made progress because of his spiritual qualifications. Vikshodha vayasam tam cha prakritinam cha sammatam anurakta prajam raja dhruvam chakre bhuvapatim. When after concentration, King Uttanapada saw that Dhruva was suitably matured to take charge of the kingdom and that his ministers were agreeable and the citizens were also very fond of him, he enthroned Dhruva as the emperor of this planet. Although it is misconceived that formerly the monarchical government was autocratic, monarchical government was autocratic. Monarchy means king was autocratic, meaning whatever he says has to happen. Nobody else's words were important. Although it is misconceived, it was thought like that. From the description of this verse, it appears that not only was King Uttanapada Rajarshi, but before installing his beloved son on the throne, he consulted his ministerial officers, considered the opinion of the public, and also personally examined Dhruva's character. Then the king installed him on the throne to take charge of the affairs of the world. When a Vaishnava king like Dhruva is the head of the government of the entire world, the world is so happy that it is not possible to imagine or describe. Seriously, it's not possible to imagine or describe. But we see it is very, very difficult. Even if there's a Vaishnava heading a small organization, still not everybody will be happy. That means the qualification is very, very high and the problem is also very difficult. It's not very easy to make people happy. Even now, if people would all become Krishna conscious, the democratic government of the present day would be exactly like the kingdom of heaven. If all people became Krishna conscious, they would vote for persons of the category of Dhruva. With the post of chief executive were occupied by such a Vaishnava, all the problems of satanic government would be solved. Satan and demoniac government. The youthful generation of the present day is very enthusiastic in trying to overthrow the government in different parts of the world. But unless people are Krishna conscious like Dhruva Maharaj, there will be no appreciable changes in the government. Because people who hanker to attain political position by hook or crook cannot think of the welfare of the people. They're only busy to keep their position of prestige and monetary gain. They have very little time to think of the welfare of the citizens. So yeah, this democracy, Prabhupada said, demon crazy. It's not possible to expect any happiness in modern society because of the political situation. So actually, it is always good to have monarchy. It's always good to have monarchy, not democracy. Yeah, but the most important thing is everybody has to become Krishna conscious. And for that, we need good leaders. And Prabhupada elsewhere also saying that, devotees should never become leaders. They should become advisors to leaders. But yeah, if there is somebody who is a qualified administrator who is a Vaishnava, then nothing like it. Atmanam cha pravayasam akalaya vishampatihi vanam virakta pratishthat vimrushan atmanogatim. Yeah. After considering his advanced age and deliberating on the welfare of his spiritual self, Uttanapada detached himself from worldly affairs and entered the forest. This is very, very important for us as we progress in our life. This is a sign of a Rajarshi. King Uttanapada was very opulent and was the emperor of the world. And these attachments were certainly very great. Modern politicians are not as great as kings like Maharaja Uttanapada. But because they get some political power, for some days they become so much attached to their positions that they never retire unless they are removed from their post by cruel death or killed by some opposing political party. We should never become attached to any position, even in devotional service. We should never become attached to any position. Then we'll again be attacked by Maya. We will accept a position for service till Krishna wants us to do, till Guru wants us to do. But then if that is not desired, then yes, we should just give up. It is within our experience that the politicians in India do not quit their positions until death. This was not the practice in olden days, as it is evident from the behavior of King Uttanapada. Immediately after installing his worthy son Dhruva on the throne, he left his home and palace. There are hundreds and thousands of instances like this in which kings in their mature age would give up their kingdoms and go to the forest to practice austerity. Practice of austerity is the main business of human life, if he thought otherwise. Of course, bhakti doesn't require very severe austerities, but there are still austerities. Even those simple austerities are a big austerity for us. As Maharaj Dhruva practiced austerity in his early age, his father in his old age also practiced austerity in the forest. In modern days, however, it is not possible to give up one's home and go to the forest to practice austerity. But if people of all ages would take shelter of the Krishna consciousness movement and practice the simple austerities of no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, and chant Hare Krishna mantra regularly, by this practical method, it would be a very easy task to get salvation from this world. Of course, and here, in addition to this, that we should also cut down influence of the material influence. If we remain in grihastha, being influenced by material things around us, then these things will not help. Because these things we have been doing for many, many years. Now you have to take to fifth gear. Vanaprastha means you have to go change gears, move from material to spiritual. And everybody should move towards this. Actually, we think, oh, Vanaprastha means it's not, oh, this is not an instruction for grihasthas. No, absolutely, it's an instruction for grihasthas also. Grihasthas have to plan their life in this way that they will give up, they will finish off their grihastha responsibilities at some time and become serious about completely, finishing off this human life and achieve perfection. Otherwise what happens is we are devotees, but we're not developed sufficient detachment toward material things. Then Krishna will have to, through situations, create detachment in us. And it will be very painful. Actually, I'm seeing my mother. She's been unwell now for 20 days. And I was wondering, saying that, it's not required. Krishna doesn't require to, that my mother go through so much suffering, but there must be a reason. So I was thinking about it. Then I realized, saying that she has so many material attachments and Krishna is just wanting to cut them off. So yesterday, by Krishna's mercy, she actually spoke to me and she was saying, I feel bad about this, I feel bad about that, etc. And then she opened up. Mm, then I was saying, see, what is the use of all this? We don't know how much more time is there. This is the time for you to completely think about Krishna, and do bhakti. All this chotu-motu material things is not going to help. You want to come back again to this material world? Then she said, no, I don't want to come back. Then I said, then leave all this. Small thing. It's not going to make a big difference in anybody's life. And then she became a little bit more serious. So she said, okay, from today I will become more serious. So I realized that this is Krishna's mercy. Actually, Krishna put her through so much of suffering just so that she can actually come to this platform. Right. And that is the most important part of this quitting this body business, right? Is to actually come to this clear consciousness saying that, okay, I'm done with all this nonsense. Let whoever do whatever they want. I'm going to just focus on my bhakti. That is important. And if we don't come to that by our own selves, by hearing Prabhupada, then situations will push us and it will be very, very painful. It will go through a lot of trouble. Otherwise I was thinking that it is not required at all. Actually, we don't need to go through trouble because if we correct ourselves, then Krishna will be merciful and he will make it smooth for us. He'll make it easy. Why would you want to continue to make it difficult even after we have rectified ourselves? So then I realized, no, because we don't rectify ourselves. We want to create problems for ourselves because we don't accept these things easily. Then we'll have to accept through difficult means. Because Krishna is our well-wisher, best friend. He wants to see that we achieve perfection. But we don't want. We've come all the way, such a long distance we have traveled. And that last phase, we are, shaking. Krishna is saying, no, let's do it. Come. And is putting us through difficulties to actually just make us renounced. That's all. I mean, this has been my last 20 days realization with my mother suffering. So it just makes sense. It's just right for us to just not get too attached to this material things. Nothing is permanent. We're not going to take anything away. And by just thinking at being attached to these things, we're going to come back again. Waste. One more material life, one more life wasted, more time wasted. That's all. So please think about it. Thus in the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 4th canto, 9th chapter entitled Dhruva Maharaj returns home. Okay. Stop here. Any questions, comments, realizations?
Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as you were saying, like, if we rectify ourselves, then Krishna will not have to do anything. But Prabhuji, karma doesn't leave us, no? We'll
No.
have to reap.
What is karma? What is karma in front of Krishna? I mean, always don't see. We should understand when we talk about these things. When Krishna said "Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja," is he saying karma is more powerful than me? He's saying no. I am the super. I am in control. I will decide. But he has to be convinced that we've actually rectified and we've really disconnected from all this nonsense. And then that is Sarvadharman Parityaja. And when that happens, Krishna is saying, Ham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. He's already promised. Why do we have to doubt this? We might be doubting because we are still suffering. That means that we've still not fully rectified. That is what we should think. Not that why, oh, will can Krishna actually remove my karma phala? No, Krishna can absolutely remove karma phala. What is the doubt in that? But because we are attached still, what is attachment? Like my mother, yesterday I was talking to my mother. She said, um, I'm just suffering so much. I said that itself is an attachment. No, that we are suffering so much itself is an attachment towards ourselves. Oh, why should I suffer? Why should I not suffer? Hmm. So all this attachment, has to go. We have to move. We have a long way to go. In bhakti, and that is why the only way possible is we become crazily. We put our head deep inside into bhakti, right? Like I've been saying, take up some big project. Some get out of comfort zone, become so absorbed in bhakti. Otherwise, this bodily attachment, family attachment is crazily powerful. It'll just drive us down. At some point of time, we'll get over family also, maybe then we'll get stuck with body. So it takes a long time and a lot of effort. So, but the most powerful process is to take something big in devotion. Only then we can overcome this attachment. Otherwise, this will keep going on and on and on. I mean, it can go on for multiple lifetimes also. It's been my realization, it's so difficult to give up. But we have to keep fighting. We keep fighting. There is no shortcut. There's no shortcut. We have to become that great hero. Krishna will remove. Why there is doubt? Krishna will remove. No doubt about that. Yeah, Rohini Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, Ruchira.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Namaskar.
Krishna. Pranam.
Knowing all these things is good, but like trying to apply is becoming hard. Like when we think that we are the souls, not the body, but we still have to live in this body and around us with the relatives. So the attachment should be there, no? Without attachment, how do you?
No, why you should have material attachment, Mataji? You have spiritual attachment, no?
How is that, Prabhu? I mean,
How?
theoretically,
Okay,
I
just
know,
like
but
how
not.
you deal with devotees. How do you deal
Okay.
with other devotees? Do you deal with them on the material platform? Then that has to be changed.
Okay.
You have to deal with everybody on the spiritual platform. So why? Which is the point, right? See, unless we start showing compassion to people, general
Right.
people outside, we will
No,
never understand
generally
this.
I can understand, but like personal
No, no, no,
family,
no, no.
husband is only one, kids are only our kids. We can have that personal thing, right?
Yeah.
So
So I was just telling my
we can.
mom.
Mhm.
She was telling that she was feeling bad that her sister, a very close sister, who stays like 2 roads away from our house,
Mhm.
that she didn't come to see her for 1 week when she was unwell. So my mom was
Oh,
feeling bad.
right,
So I said, Mom, is this relationship going to continue in your next life? Is she going to remain your sister?
right.
No. She said no. Then I said, why are you worrying about it? Why are you worrying about something which is not going to be there? Maybe even, few months from now, this whole thing will end.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you worried about this?
Right,
Right? So, see, we have to understand one day these things are going to end.
right,
Repeatedly we've been talking about this, saying that Grihastha Ashrama. Ashrama means spiritual is in the center. Spirituality is in the center, not material.
right,
Right? Then I know of so many devotees who something happens in their family and they just break down and they even lose trust in Krishna.
right.
Because they're so blindly attached, right? I mean, we
Mm,
have been given a responsibility, a seva in a particular house. We have
right,
been given the seva of being the wife or the husband of another Vaishnava or parent of, some small children who have to be
right.
trained in, and that's all our job is. And we have to
Yeah,
do it wholeheartedly. We have to do it with, knowing that yes, this is seva for Krishna. Just like I do loving service to Krishna lovingly, I will also take up this service. But I have to see my people around me on the spiritual platform that they are souls. This is just my one life with them in service. And then after few years, I'm gone, they are gone, and I don't know who they are. They won't know who
That
I am.
makes, creates fear, Prabhu. Like,
Yeah,
we
if
are
it is, if
thinking
it
at the
creates fear,
end
it
of
creates
the
fear.
end of the life is this what we
Mataji,
are
what is end of
thinking, but
life, Mataji? When is end of life? When is end of life? Does anybody know here?
no.
Then what are we talking about? I mean, see, this is why Krishna starts off saying that you're not the body, you're spirit soul.
Right,
Otherwise, the whole platform of Krishna. See, what is the spiritual platform? The spiritual platform actually means that we first of all see ourselves as an Atma. So, which means that, if we are still looking at the mirror and thinking that, okay, I am Rohini Mataji, I am
right,
Rohini, right? This is my body. This is
right.
who I am. That means that's bodily platform.
Mhm.
And it's not that I'm not saying that I've crossed that, but when I look at myself in the mirror, you know what now I'm thinking? I'm thinking, no, this is just this body that I have. This is not my body. This is just this body in this life which has been given, and yeah, it's a source of misery, it's a source of happiness, whatever it is. That's it.
Right,
Every time you look at the mirror, please try to see the Atma in yourself. At least see that you are not the body. Right? I mean,
right.
this has to be done. See, otherwise, Mataji, this is going to be very painful. At some point of
Yeah,
time, it is going to be painful. It is going to be painful. It's better that we become more conscious about it today and understand, just philosophically saying, no, I am spiritual. Oh, no, my husband is also spiritual. My children are also spiritual. Oh, how come we all came in one house? Okay, we have just karma phala to exchange. We've come together, and also I have some service to do towards all of them in Krishna consciousness, and I will do it sincerely. And with the way I look at it is, I don't differentiate my daughter and say, for example, I mean, there's one of my very close devotee friends, Harnath Prabhu, his daughter, same, very similar age. I don't see my daughter and her daughter differently at all. I don't see them differently because for me, both of them are devotees, right?
yeah,
One has come in their house, another has come in my house, and our responsibility towards my responsibility towards both of them is to help them make progress on the path. And each of them might be in different life situations. So then those
right.
complexities will come in. But just looking at my daughter, I won't feel like, oh my God, my daughter, I have to do 100 things more for her than Prabhu's daughter. No,
Mm,
because
okay.
it's not the platform. It's not the platform we have to see. I mean, and it's the same thing like I was saying. My mother, I'm looking at her suffering. Initially 2-3 days, I got pulled down, right?
Mhm.
And then I
Yeah,
realized saying that no, but why am I getting pulled down? Then I realized no, I would have got pulled down even if it was somebody else if somebody else in front of my eyes were to suffer like this, I would still feel the same pain,
mhm,
right? Because it was so painful. She was so going through so
mhm.
much suffering. Then I realized saying no, then it's not just my mother. It should be the same pain I should feel even if there is somebody else. Then I was praying to Krishna. Yes, so she's a soul. She's come here, mercifully given me birth. She's my mother. Right. So please make her remember you there at the time. But these things we have to realize because otherwise we will never get over. There is no end to this. Is there an end
Right,
to this bodily platform? This life is
right,
over. Okay, we are practicing Krishna consciousness. Again, next life will come. Now, in this life, we remain attached. Next life will remain attached.
right.
Right. So these things are difficult, and that's the reason why it's very difficult when preachers speak about these things. Yeah, what happens, right? People don't want to hear these things. But unfortunately, this is what is required. Otherwise, we are stuck. We can't make any progress.
Mm.
And this will become the 10th offense, right? Or the 11th offense, whatever it is, right? Aham and mama, then nama parada, then we won't make progress, then we are just stuck. We've been chanting for many years. We don't make any progress because this is the most important nama parada we have to overcome. Is this aham
Right.
and mama? So whatever it is, whether it is fear, whether it is whatever, however it is, yena kena prakara, somehow we have to come out of this bodily attachments. Yeah, otherwise, we are stuck. It's like that, what is that? Sticky mud, they say, no? What is that? It'll pull us in.
Right, right.
What is that? I don't know what it's called in English. Sticky sand or something, they say, right?
Quicksand, bro. Quicksand.
Quicksand, yeah.
Quicksand.
Quicksand. So, it's like that quicksand. Material life, family is like a quicksand. He'll just keep pulling us down, 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 down. That's it. And there's no way, nobody else will pull us out because they're also along with us.
Yeah.
Going down, going down, going down. And that is why we have to hear from Srila Prabhupada.
Yes,
Hear
correct.
from Srila Prabhupada. And we have to take it seriously.
Right.
Because otherwise, this hearing also, that's why I keep saying Shravanam. Yeah, we do Shravanam. We do Shravanam, and whatever, how much ever we want to accept, we accept. Remaining, we leave. That's it.
Right. Thank you,
But,
Prabhu.
yeah, I mean,
Hare Krishna.
unfortunately, it's very hard, but there is no other way. So it's that's the only way.
So
But
if
you know,
we
and one
take
more
this
thing,
knowledge, yes.
yeah, one more thing actually, Mataji, you know, when you actually come to that stage of accepting them as divas and not so much as my husband, my children, you know, you feel liberated. You feel freed.
But that detachment will make
No,
us
it's
lose
not detachment.
attachment on them, no? So
It's not.
it become, I don't know, Prabhu. Maybe I'm in the beginning, right? So not like you.
No, no,
That,
no beginning, no end. See, just it's very simple, right? We have to look at everybody on the spiritual platform. Otherwise, like I said, you know, situations will happen. Then we will have to come to this realization, and then it will be painful. Then it will
yeah.
be painful. You know, I know of one my when I was working, my boss, he used to be a very gentleman, very nice person. He encouraged me so much when I was doing bhakti, never came in the middle, etc. And then once sometimes something happened to his younger daughter, and he was so broken down in office. He started crying in front of me. I said, you take care of such big things, such big responsibilities. You're such a nice person, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But no control over himself because he broke down emotionally
Attachment.
because of attachment. Now, if we are also like that, what is the difference between us and non-devotees? No difference. The only difference is we have a chanting bag in our hand, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, practically not much help it will be.
True. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Sorry if I've been harsh.
No, no
as
problem.
usual, but
It's useful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I
yeah,
say something?
yeah, please.
Prabhu, what you're saying is absolutely this thing, but without attachment, even your daily course of life, like, you're serving the children, it's not, I don't know, I'm not able to do it, Prabhu. Like, it's all, and I would like to share an incident yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I do have to share it. I visited like it was just by, she just called up impromptu and I was near the doctor and I visited her. She has recently lost her husband and she's living alone and her only son is living close by. She said, Sumantra, I have to tell you this. And she's a devotee, but who's not very regular to the temple. So she said, I have to share this. I can't, it's just Krishna's arrangement that you're here today because I usually don't. So she said, my son says, her son's husband's been quite affluent. So she said, मेरे को ये property है, वो property है. He said, Ma, I'm coming, sugar coated sweet. Like, ये सारा मेरे नाम पे कर दो, like, And I said, please don't do it. Please don't do it. And I said, everything eventually is his. He says, no, you know what? Krishna has brought you here so that I could reveal my mind to you. And he is showing me a way of detachment to my son, that I'm so attached to him, like this is the path where he's showing me, be careful. This is all Maya and don't be detached from him. The more you're away from him, she said, I'm not able to leave him. So this is what it is, detached. But Prabhu, like, it's very difficult. I'm always looking at the missing tile. My kids are like this, this thing, my nahi nikalta, Prabhu. I'm sorry. I am not a devotee or I'm stuck in this. I won't. But this
No,
is a
but
fact.
it's
a fact. It's
I
a
mean,
real
it's a
hard fact for me.
difficulty. It's difficulty. It's not like it's easy, but I'm saying that we have to make the effort because I mean, either way, right? See, it's simple,
not.
right? At the end of the day, whether it's
It's not.
today or whether it's the time when we are going to give up this body, we are going to give up these relations anyway. We are not going to take these relations with us. So why can't we understand that it is temporary? Why can't we understand that relationship with Krishna is more valuable, more important than these temporary relations? And it is this or that. Are we able to realize that? It's either Krishna's relationship with Krishna or its relationship with this material these material relations. Now, are we, whatever is the word to be used, that we are actually giving up relationship with Krishna at the cost of these temporary, worthless relations? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem to make too much sense to me. And there has to be some rational. See, bhakti means there is also logic, there is intelligence behind, right? It's not some sentimental stuff, right? And intelligence is saying that these things are temporary, and if you're giving up permanent relationship with Krishna at the cost of these things, that is not very intelligent, right? And that is the reason why attachment to Krishna has to increase. Now, attachment to Krishna will increase only if we come out of our house, isn't it? If we are sitting in our house and attached to our house, then we are going to remain attached to the house, right? Come out, preach, right? Come out, distribute books, come out, do Nagar Sankirtan, then obviously our attachment to Krishna will increase, and then automatically this material attachment will go down. Anyway, it's food for thought. We have to keep thinking about it. We can't just leave it like that, because then we will have to come back again. That's the whole point. Okay, so we'll stop here. It's already 9:20. Yeah. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhyo Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo 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 Koti Vaishnava. Somehow Krishna is making me speak all this because I think